Guys, you're listening to Semi-Woo, as if you didn't know already. I just wanted to get you right back into it. So today, like we promised you, we are getting into a classic hot-button issue that anyone who's single has ever talked about with their friends, which is dating apps, dating life, should you, shouldn't you.
Tinder, OkCupid, Match.
All of it. All of it.
Harmony
all of it.
Uniting. All of it.
Absolutely.
It's funny, we've been online, I'll drop it right here. Been online dating since Craigslist Casual Encounters.
Ooh.
That's the first online dating.
Ooh,
That's a Mach 1, dude. It's like M
That
for
is Mach
W.
1. Right.
I like big titties.
What you need.
Free tonight.
Free pussy eating right now.
Right.
Just first
Free
person to come over.
One to knock on my door.
You know what? I'm gonna look up some. I'm gonna look. Keep talking because I just want to see what the Seattle ones are.
It was raunchy, but then it was nice. I'm like, this is casual encounters. People was looking for their wife on casual encounters.
No,
dude, just
only on
dick pics. The first
Men
dick
for
pics
Women?
were on casual encounters.
Oh, they still are.
So, situations, swingers, everybody, but you had to weed through.
And the first sentence you always say when you email anyone from Casual Encounters is like, "I never do this, ever." Ever. You're like, it's Craigslist. I can't. Or I'm always like, I cannot believe I'm writing you.
Right.
Because I've only probably written over the 15 years, maybe 3 people that I have written. Like people have written me, or God forbid you make a post. Have you ever made a?
Oh, of course.
Thousands of emails.
But they were like thousands of emails.
And I make them crazy specific, and I go, you have to write. You have to write the make and model and color of the very first car you owned in the subject line. So that's just a
weed 'em out.
pure
Nice.
sorting tool.
A little like resume
So when they go like
style.
1974 red Dodge truck,
Right.
then I'm like,
And you're
I
like,
will
cool.
now see that you are a human being
and get
who read what I
directions,
wrote.
which is gonna come in handy later. Okay.
Yeah. But everyone else is just like, sexy girl, blonde girl, boob,
Right.
blonde, boop. And you're like, delete,
when
delete,
free,
delete.
when free, come over now. I can drive, have place.
Or some people were
around
just
the
like,
corner under
1982 Dodge. I was like, you didn't do the color.
You didn't do the
Didn't tell
color.
me what it
Bye.
was. Bye, delete.
Couldn't do one more word.
Nah, man. Because as a woman, my description was just like, I'm looking for this, and da-da-da-da.
Mine
They have
would
to
be
be
so
intelligent.
specific. I would
Me
put
too.
like Bjork lyrics and be like, if this means something to you. Something from Vespertine, like all complicated. I was like, if they don't mention the album.
Oh my god, but this is a giant dick. Look at this. Okay, here's the very first one.
Oh my god.
The headline is "Blow Me on Blow, Snow, and White Girl." What the fuck's White Girl? Is that heroin? I don't know what White Girl is. Or is he asking for a white girl? Blow, Snow, and White Girl.
Maybe those are all new
maybe
names
is
for
that
all
all
the
Coke?
drugs. Maybe all of them.
Because
Sounds
blow
like
and
it.
snow is the same thing. So
Yeah.
maybe White Girl it's a huge dick.
Dude, but that started that, and then all of a sudden online dating popped. What was the first? I think it was like Match.com was like the first one.
I don't know. It's like one of those. I mean, there was other ones before in the 90s where it was like, you made a video or something, which I think those would be way better. I want to see a video of someone talking.
Like on
and actually
Singles.
see, what they're like. Because
Oh my God,
all
that's
these dating
cool.
apps, you see a static image, which you cannot feel a vibration from anyone. And
Dude,
what
that's
they
like this
talk
guy on Tinder.
like.
I saw his profile and I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. But there's like one of the pictures was his socks and one he was in front of a fire and you couldn't see him. And one, you know what I mean? It was like ridiculous. Then he had where he worked. So I went on to his website.
Okay.
And there was a video of him totally freaking different than his pictures.
Right.
In a bad way. He was like... It was actually
You do an
adorably
impersonation?
endearing. No, it's like in this really unique way of dork that they just embody it. And I think he had a lisp as well. But it was like this amazing artist.
Full body dork is.
That's what I was saying. Like if you met
unique.
Tom York and he was like, hey, come look at my collection of antique Kung-Fu dolls.
Oh, I would be so sad.
You'd be like, no, Tom, nah,
Tom.
no, dude.
I
This ain't
can't listen.
true.
I can't listen to your music when I know that.
Now that I know that,
I can't listen to Idiotech.
knowing that you're playing with your
Kung-Fu coming,
Kung-Fu
Kung-Fu coming. Get in the back of the toys, in the back of the toys, in the back of the toys. Oh,
hurt.
please, Tom York, if you ever are on our show, probably in the next 5 episodes, I'm guessing, is this is how popular,
Right.
but, right? You're
Right.
right. You never know. We really hope that you aren't. We know that Tom York is nerdy because he's incredibly intelligent and focused. So when you're incredibly intelligent and focused, you generally
just think he's
like to
probably
nerd out on stuff.
unfriendly.
But he's a music channel. I don't think that he's a, you know what I mean? I don't think that he has much to give other than everything he gives, which is everything. But
And
it's
see,
through
it would be
music
good if
and
he had a little
performance.
video dating thing. We could see how he was. But that's
He's
I
actually
like your
pretty
idea
witty,
about
and he's quiet and then makes jokes under his breath, and it's really cute.
And so if
He's
you
smart.
could see that, it'd be easier to make a decision.
I know. But if you just
That's
saw a
why that
picture of
video-
Tom York with
right.
his crazy eye, you'd be like, this person looks like
Like,
they're
no,
going to
it'd
murder
be
me.
super swipe left.
I know. That's
it doesn't
the
make sense.
problem.
It's not 3D.
This is the biggest
and I know
problem.
you try to paint a pictures like almost do a video slideshow of
Mhm.
yourself, but it doesn't work that way. It's
I
more
don't-
like here's all the different ways
yeah.
that I look. Some will be 5 different looks.
Unbelievable.
Supposedly the same guy.
That's what you and I call
It's like over
take me on a
5
journey.
years.
It's like take me on a journey. Okay, first picture.
It's ridiculous.
Looking decent. Next picture looks 30 years younger. Next one looks like a crazy
Child, who's
crackhead.
this child? Who's this woman? Then you got to ask and then what high school photo?
If there's a picture
you
in your
don't look like that
profile
right
that
now.
is actually a phone picture of an actual picture where you can see the gloss,
Oh my god.
you better go kill yourself. We have to explain that to the audience. It's something. Please don't go kill yourself.
Right, ever. Don't.
It is a
Stay
joke that
living,
is like
keep
one of
dating.
those. It's so obviously ridiculous to tell someone who took a picture of a picture to kill themselves. That is the joke. I just wanted to make a little side note about that.
If anyone needs to talk to anyone,
You
there's
can
hotlines
call-
out there.
Just Google
So-
them. We don't have the hotlines available.
We
right
don't have
now.
the number. We'll get that to you.
Sorry. You can check our description at the end of the podcast. We're also not making light of suicide. We're gonna get off the suicide train and on to
If we had classic radio buttons, this would be the moment to play the crickets or the like, hi, geez. Either one of those buttons would work.
or the producer would be in the thing being like this, like cut. And I'm like, I'm sorry, boss. I said suicide, and then I started rambling. It happens. It happens.
Right.
This is live. Semi-Woot coming to you live, unedited. Pretty much for the most part, unedited.
Can we pause?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, well,
Okay, right, just
dating,
because of
dating,
where-
Tinder,
yeah.
dating. Okay,
Okay.
so yes, so what we were talking about was how it's so much easier when you see someone in person to pick up on their vibe, the way they talk, their confidence, than through pictures.
Right.
And the problem to me with Tinder especially, and now what's interesting since Tinder is so popular, it's other apps have picked up that swiping,
Right.
is that it gives you this impression. It gives me this impression at least. Here's a bunch of dudes that you get to choose from.
Right.
All of them want you.
Right.
And you can choose anyone you want, and if you don't like them, there's 10,000 more in the basket below.
There's just a
So you're just
million.
like, no, fuck, no, yes, maybe, no, absolutely not, gross.
Well,
like that's
and
not
then-
how
right.
you meet.
And on the flip side of
people.
that, every time it doesn't go, you've got a match, you go, he doesn't like me. He doesn't
Mhm.
like me. There's another guy that doesn't like me. There's another guy that doesn't like me.
Right.
I really liked him. I went out on a limb and I pressed right. And they didn't even press right.
It's a whole world that does not at all
That's
relate to
just not
how
how
we
it
meet and talk to
works.
and connect with people in person.
No.
Not at all. I don't go to a bar and go like, no, gross, ew, no, absolutely not. Get out of my face. You're disgusting. Maybe him, but maybe later.
And I don't go to a
every
bar
single
and tap a
person.
guy and be like, do you want me? And they go, no. Do you want me? No. Do you want me? No.
No, you have to vibe. You hear someone laugh. You overhear
You
a
catch
joke.
'em over
You
a
see their body
room.
language. You see that
They're
they're
your
having a good
type.
time. They're
They're
your type.
just attractive in
Or
general.
maybe they're your type. You see them down there, and then all of a sudden you've noticed that they like haven't smiled in an hour, and you're like, oh, that person actually looks kind of
Right,
sad. Like, I don't
dude.
want to talk to him anymore.
And when someone's animated and hanging out with their friends and telling a joke, they're so much more full of life than a stupid grainy picture you took somewhere,
it's not full of life
wherever.
at all.
Like, I look at some of my pictures and I'm like, you can kind of get a sense of how, like, that's what I try to do in the pictures. But I was
Yeah.
like, dang, unless you're hanging out with me, you don't know, like, my vibes. Like, I keep a
know.
good vibe, you
Yeah.
know? And it sucks.
And it sucks to tell people that too.
Yeah, I
You're like, I have good
know.
vibes. I swear.
I swear. And when you see it written on anyone's thing, it's like weird. It's like
Yeah.
I honestly think it means you don't have good vibes if you have
That's
to
the
say
problem
it.
with
At least
trying
that's our
to prove,
mentality.
because when you're in person and you're trying to prove yourself, it all goes wrong. You're like, don't you like having good vibes? Like, I have the best vibes.
I
And, like,
have
they're
great
really good.
vibes.
So it's
Then you
isn't it
wouldn't.
fun? And you're like,
Right.
no,
That would not be a good
because
vibe.
when you
either.
talk about how
right,
I know.
right,
So when
right.
you talk about who you are in person, it's like, I'm just the kind of person, like, I like to get really, I'm really rise, right? Like
Right.
I'm really motivated. I'm a really ambitious, motivated person. And you're like, stop talking about yourself.
Right.
So when you do it in a profile, anything you say ends up being the opposite.
The opposite.
But you're like, but I want them to know that.
But this is what I care about. This is what you should care about me.
yeah. My profile,
don't know.
I don't know what it says. It says like I'm a
Mine's
pistolani,
cheeky,
I'm crazy.
but it's a little bit too cheeky.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get my personality across.
I'm trying to
So
get
I
my
have a
personality
joke,
across. But you know what? I
know?
talk to guys and they say they never
Dude, why
ever
doesn't Tinder
read the
have
profiles.
Tinder needs videos. You play a
Some
fucking video and
needs
it's like, hey,
videos.
what's up? This is who I am, and it should be video. Why don't they do that?
If
My
anyone's-
copyright.
Yeah.
Looking
Well,
at-
if anyone's listening and you know of an app that has this where you can make
Or
a
just
short
let me
video
know.
that's dating,
Yeah.
leave me a voicemail.
Video dating.
949-456-4602. 949-456-4602. Leave me a voicemail and we'll talk
App
about it.
video dating. Then you see the person.
And you get to hear what they want to talk about.
Right.
And they can't be a cop-out like they can on OkCupid, where it's like, when there's sections where it's like, anything you want to know, just ask. And it's like,
Nope.
what I'm doing with my life.
Right.
That's the prompt, and they go, just ask me.
If I saw that, pass. Or if it was 2
it's my
seconds.
number one, you know that.
Yeah.
But you guys don't know, so. My number one dating thing is if
You
someone
see her on
someone says
Tinder.
on all their things, ask me, it's like, do you not realize that the profile question is asking you?
That's
It's
what
a question.
It is.
What are you doing with your life? And you're like, I don't know, ask me.
I don't know, ask me. If you didn't know here, you ain't gonna know wherever else you think I should be asking
Or some
you.
people are like, I'll fill this out later.
Some people are like, I'm getting
Later?
around to it. I'm like, your
Still working
pictures
on
are
it. And it's like, how important is dating to you if you can't even, to
And
me,
I
it's
wonder,
like, you can't
how
describe
many,
yourself.
did they think that's cute or they're, I don't know. Some guys are so cute and clever on their
I
things.
know, and I wish mine was cuter and clever. But I'm cuter and clever in person because I'm clever and cute in the moment.
Right.
I'm not cute and clever
Like a
necessarily in
planned joke.
some sort of a description-y profile thing.
Just a bunch of like amateur stand-up comedians have the best ones.
I know. And then in person, they suck.
They suck.
Like the people I went on dates with in New York.
Because you
And I was like, you're a
craft
sad,
jokes and repeat them
sad
for years.
man. I went
You
on
know-
a date in New York. I have to tell you about this. I went on a date in New York with a guy who was a comedian. I won't say his name because I actually forget his name. Won't ever remember it. He wasn't a memorable person. And I see him every now and again on, like, you know, Friends of Friends shows and stuff. But this guy was, oh my gosh, he was so good on text, and he was so good on his profile, and his pictures were cute, and the coffee thing, and then, like, he kind of looked like a little bit older, but like a little bit of a hipster, but like a little bit grungy comedian, and his profile was hilarious. And his texts were like, hey babe, and like, let's do it, like, let's party, let's, you know, like, jazz it up, like, meet me there, I'll see you. And you're like, ah, like, he made me feel so girly and so, like, wanted, and we were gonna have this fun day. He's like, yeah, pop on down, and like, I'll get you a drink, like, what do you want? You know, it was so cute.
Yeah.
I get there and I'm just like in it. I have like I was like, I'm trying to get laid. This is Tinder. This is New York. It's you know, it's Friday night. Whatever. Let's do it. We go to 7B. I was like, it's close to my house. This is my fuck me bar. And all the bartenders knew that. They knew if Amanda is here late night with a dude, that's because she's trying to get laid.
Mhm.
And there was like 4 or 5 guys, and the bartenders, they just smile, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
because I live a quarter of a block away.
Right. So like either
I'm not
you
going
can
to
take your ass
Harlem or
home,
Brooklyn.
or I can just scoot.
Bye. If we don't want to, then peace
Mhm.
out. There's my house. But either way, there's my house.
Right.
So I show up, and anyone who's lived in New York knows the pressure of like, oh, I want to go get laid, but it's in like Bed-Stuy, and I have to go home after.
No.
Kill yourself. Anyway, don't kill yourself.
We'll get that hotline. We're working on it.
I show up. This guy he looks like he's been emotionally run over by a truck. Just one of the saddest people. His eyes were red. He just looked, and I was like, my first reaction was just like, are you okay? It was like that. That's how he looked. That was his vibe.
Oh,
He's like,
my
hey, what's
gosh.
up? Like, hey, yeah, it's nice to meet you. Like, couldn't look me in the eye. But was into me, because as I found out later, was totally into me.
Whoa.
Couldn't look me in the eye, was just like drinking, already had a shot of whiskey on the table before I even arrived. And then he like took a shot of whiskey, and I was like, oh, so we're just gonna do like shots of whiskey
my
on this date,
gosh.
you 41-year-old man. Find out later, like, has a kid, crazy ex-wife, the whole 9, and I'm just kind of
Broken,
sitting there, like,
torn asunder.
torn asunder. And you know what? I've dated people who've been torn asunder, but have a positive attitude, and they're like, it's life. I'm a New Yorker. I've
Fuck
been
me,
torn
right? You know, that's the New Yorker way. It's like, yes.
Yeah. He was
actually
so
sad about it.
But he would
We're all torn asunder. We all live in New York.
He would say his jokes every now and then, but they were his like stand-up jokes. So it would be
Oh,
like,
no.
yeah, that's the
He did
thing,
his
man.
routine
When
on
you
you.
drink whiskey, you have to be like, hey, I'm drinking whiskey, everyone. And everyone's like, I get it. It's popular. And you're like, hey, man, back in the 70s, it wasn't so popular. And it's like, he started doing his bit.
Oh.
His whiskey bit. Whiskey
He's
bit.
like a robot. He's like, whiskey bit.
Yeah, man. So what's up with whiskey anyway?
Oh no.
That's how you know you're a new comedian is when you say, so what's up with fill in the blank anyway?
That's the weirdest thing is like, how can you be funny on text and funny on like, but not funny with your other written word, your actual.
It's a persona is all I can guess.
It's a persona.
That's how
And
we
you're good at
don't
the
do
persona.
comedy as a persona. We do it as 100% ourselves, which is why I would say almost all, if not every story I've ever told in stand-up or anything was true.
Yeah.
And comedians are always like, yeah, right, it's not true. I'm like, our
I don't have
stories are
anything
true.
else to talk about.
I don't make up date stories and fake stories. Like when I just have real life
Or they're like
ones.
Embellished, yeah.
Slightly
embellished real ones.
Yeah.
That's
like
what
if I
makes
was
them
doing that on
funny.
stage, I would be like, I went on a date last week. Just to make it feel like
Right.
they're with me. Like I just, meanwhile it's 2 years ago.
That's
an
like
embellishment.
knowing
like, who
somebody
cares?
at an open mic for like 8 years and them never having a girlfriend. Like my girlfriend, after 8 years of hearing my girlfriend bit and they haven't had a girlfriend, it's just sad. Open mics are so... I never once thought about dating anyone at open mic. There was no crushes.
Once.
There was
Rajan Darni.
He was just the cutest
Rajan?
of the all, of all
And he
of
was
them,
very
of all
sweet
the idiots.
and he loved us.
He was a little Middle East feast.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was cute.
Rajan Darni, shout out to you. I'll send this to him.
Yeah, he was adorable.
Super hot. You know who else was hot? The guy that did the show with him. Chris something or another.
He was but you want to know who was hot? That Zoltan.
Zoltan's hot as fuck. He's married.
If he
hot
skates,
wife.
of course.
Of course he skates.
He's so
Zoltan,
funny.
Kansas is one of the most confident, funny
Okay, then I
comedians
take that
I've
back.
ever.
There was a few.
Zoltan's better than anyone I saw in New York. By
Totally.
100,000.
By 100,000. And
He's
natural.
so
It looked like he
natural
just
and
stopped
funny.
by. And I think he stopped by and they let him go on stage and he was hilarious.
I watch his comedy now.
Why does he have to leave?
Jokes about things that I saw him in San Diego. He has this natural way about him where like let's say I saw him on a Thursday. He was talking about stuff that had happened like a day, 2 days ago in the news or whatever, and just with lightness and humor, and you can tell that that Zoltan, which he is when you meet him in person, is that person. He's a funny, observant, hilarious, improvisational guy. So
Right.
that's why he's like that on stage.
Yeah.
But when comedians are a persona on stage, not all, amateur. When amateur comedians are nothing at all like they are on stage, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't like it. Not a fan of that. And I realize that's
No.
most people.
And that's the thing with the animation is you get a sense of someone when you see how they live and move and talk.
Right.
And carry themselves.
Yeah.
It's really funny. Maybe they thought of this in the cook labs or whatever. And oh my god,
wait to hear
I
what the cook
seriously,
labs
I
are.
bet the cook labs are just a bunch of dudes jacking off.
What are cook labs?
You know when you go and you cook the app and you see if it works and you send it out beta to your friends and blah 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 blah.
Is that really called that? Or did you
No,
just
that
make it
came out
up?
of my mouth, and I will admit that was weird. But that's what I see it as, where they're just cooking shit up, and it's a lab.
Okay, I thought it was like a meth lab.
No, I know. I was like, how would I know?
Guys, if you're having a problem with meth, we have a link down
There
below.
we'll get you that hotline as well.
We'll get you
But
that
like,
hotline.
why haven't they figured this out on dating? Again,
Maybe
it's
we
because it'd be a
don't
bunch of
know.
videos of dudes jacking off.
Yes, it
and
would.
that's
That's-
why it's
that's
video.
why.
It'd be people
That's why.
it'd be people doing crazy shit. It'd be,
The thumbnail would be a regular
Right.
guy,
yep.
and then the
And then
video
he'd
would
be
be a Polish
jacking
dude
off.
jacking off his
Yep,
little
there you
wiener.
go. And that's how it happened.
Okay,
what
but it
was
has to
that
be
video? Oh my god,
curated.
I was trying to think of this the other day. What was that video? I think it was more of a website, which is crazy. This will tell you the timeline, and you could show yourself in a room doing stuff, sharing video. It started with a V.
Show yourself in a room.
Or it was an app, and you could hang out and see other people hanging out.
That was chat roulette.
Chat roulette
Still exists.
Does it really?
Yeah, I got kicked off once for titty boob stuff.
Yeah, that's what
I
because that's what
did.
happened.
They banned
it turned
me.
into a jack off site.
Well, but they actually have that's called sex roulette. That one's kind of hot, dude.
Then what do you do on chat roulette? Actually chat?
Well, chat roulette's a combination of weird stuff and dicks and masks, and like then you'll get a group of like 4 Asian girls all giggling
That's
at the
what the
camera.
app would turn into.
But it was a bunch of different stuff. But you felt bad when it was kids, and if you had like your tits out, and you're like, oh god.
Right, you're like, oh hey. That's where honestly then it would just be better to establish some new fucking rules about dating so we all know how to act or something. Some general new dating
You think
rules
creeps
and
follow
guys.
rules, though?
not creeps, but like at least so when you're out and there's a guy and you want to talk to them, there's like a way like both men and women can go up to each other. Now we're done with that now. Dudes don't have to be the only ones brave enough to go maybe get rejected.
Actually,
it sucks to put that on their shoulders.
I'm the only like Redditor here between the two of us, but everything on Reddit all the time, on all the questions and all the everything is like, what do guys wish girls would do more? And it's like, come to us, talk to us, ask us out. We don't want to be the ones to do everything
can't be
anymore.
Like, I want to know that he likes me or that he's brave enough to come. I mean, I'm this like cool bitch. Like he needs to come talk to me. Shut up.
That's
Dudes
not
are
fair.
sensitive as us.
Mm-hmm.
They're just the same about putting themselves out there and getting rejected. Feels the same in both
bodies.
It feels
the same. It sucks.
It sucks. And they'd rather not do it than avoid rejection. So if you got it, because I'd be asking guys out, I'd be putting notes on doors. I'd be looking up emails when the person leaves the computer at the gym.
I'll be the first. I'll be the first tender writer. I'll be the first one to send a message. Right. No shame in my game.
Right. I got it.
Yeah, I'm not down with that. You know what's that was one of the last things of the bastion of kind of like old gender sexuality stuff to like leave my thing, because I used to be like that too, like it's better when the guy asked, it would be better if he noticed. I'm like, no, it's not. It's I'm a woman, I'm very independent, duh. I can go up to another human being and be like, hey, I like your vibe, you're cute, or something, anything. What are you drinking? How are you tonight? Like, my name's Amanda, whatever, all the dumb shit that guys have had to figure out to say for years.
And now they don't work because it used to be real sexist, crazy crap that you could say to women and we'd have to accept it, but at least he asked me out. At least he came over.
I know.
No.
Yeah, we can do it.
That's a big one. Yeah. And we should. And go get what we want.
Yeah. We can't complain that we're not getting what we want if we're not trying to get it.
Right.
If you guys know anyone who is single, you can send It's funny, man. It's just a funny time. There's, I don't, we have to put a lot of stuff in our notes today because I don't know the source of this, but there was a study released recently that's like, this is obviously the time in all of American history that the most amount of women are single. And it was like women 25 to 35 is like 60% are single or something. A lot. So it's not as cliche like single people and all that stuff's kind of gone.
It really is.
All that like, oh, you must have warts on your body. Like, what's wrong with you? You're single.
Like, oh, she's 35.
Yeah, that's pretty much gone because not only so many people are single, but that's just single people who've never been married.
Right.
Then you got a bunch of. I'm sorry. Where's those 50% divorced people? Where are they? They're out there too.
They're out there too.
In fact, you married people are the minority. Actually, of my friends, definitely married is the minority.
Right.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Of all the people we know, like all the people from college, all of our friends, I think married is the minority.
My closest friends are not, which is because I can hang out.
It's just giving me a huge appreciation because let's say I get married when I'm 40. That means technically if you look at lifespan, like if, women live to their, late 70s, 80s, that means I'll be married for 40 years. So, like, why wouldn't I want to be single for 40 years? I get both.
That's what I think is, we were talking about this earlier and I was talking about what I want to write on my profile because I kind of want like a summer boyfriend I can say peace to when I travel in the fall, but I want it to be, not see you every 3 weeks for a booty call, but like not see you 5 nights a week for dinner and like stuff like that.
What do you want to do? And where are you going? And what are you doing? And when are you?
And it's so crazy. I know so much what I don't want and do want that it's so specific. And I think with dating right now, we miss out on maybe not labeling what we want, but meeting somebody, getting to know them, and then defining it. Because some people I do only want to see every 3 weeks when I'm maybe a little desperado.
I know.
But some dudes are cool, and we naturally start hanging out, and we decide how often we want to see each other.
Yeah,
I think I want to leave things a little more open and just be open to whatever.
Other people.
Right.
Because if you have this super specific, it's like, how many are you not seeing if it's so specific?
Absolutely.
Go general.
Go in general. Meet the person and then decide what you want out of the relationship, whether it's not
because
to
if
see
you
them
have
or
all these
to marry
things,
them.
Yeah.
Who knows?
They're like, oh, this guy's hanging out too much. I said I only wanted 2 nights a week.
I'm sorry, I can't have I said I was going to leave in the fall and that was summer boyfriend, so this is it. This is it.
Yep,
this has to be over. That's really limiting.
And then it would limit even them being like, you're my summer boyfriend, summer, and you're like, why do you keep saying that? Like, can I just be...
Can we hang out?
Jim, like, why do I have to be your summer boyfriend? Like, you're in this category.
It's honestly, and I'm thinking about this now, a way to distance and to already break something up. Yeah. Because I want my life to be in this certain way and try to control it.
Because we don't want to be married right now. But we do want to be
But
married
we do
eventually.
want to be married
So we're
eventually,
in
but we
between
want
that
a
thing.
great relationship now.
That-
But what if we met our dude now and
I
we didn't
know.
know this was the motherfucker we were going to marry? Because here's how it is, and I have this attachment, and I didn't know it was an attachment until I'm saying it now,
Okay.
that when I turn around and I see my future husband, it's going to be like, the symphony and the goddamn hearts in the eyes and this, like, Simba fucking moment, dude.
Where
Like,
have
the
you
whole
been,
thing. And I'll be like,
my
that's him. And he goes, the minute I
love?
saw her, I knew. I still have that inside
That's
of
a
me.
massive
No doubt, dude.
expectation.
It's so crazy.
That is such a massive expectation that you could lose out on amazing people.
On
by if that
amazing
didn't happen. What if
people.
you like tripped and you're like, oh my god, this
Or
guy
what if
like
one
is
of
like,
my
are you
close
okay? And you're like,
friends
God.
is the person,
I
you know?
know.
Is it you, Eric, Matt, John? Or are you my husband?
Like, if anyone out there is my husband, you can tell. Click the link at the bottom, not the suicide one and not the meth one, but the
If
one
I've
about
met you
dating
and you're
me.
my husband, please email me.
I love that we can joke about this,
Yeah.
but you're right, man. It's like this is a big thing about the law of attraction and your vibes and what you're putting out and what you want and what your words are. Your words are the least important.
Oh,
It's
gosh.
your feelings, it's your thoughts, it's all this, right? And your words do matter, but the thoughts is first, right? And then so yeah, I have really specific thoughts. Like if someone was like right now if someone for sure, I don't know who this person is, but they're like, on August 12th, you are going to meet your husband for sure. I would be like, if I like just hearing that makes me be like,
Okay,
oh.
but right when you said that, I kind of had this quick thing too, and then I was like, okay, just meeting them and marrying them is different because
You're gonna meet
meeting
and
them
know
could
that they're
be like,
that you're the,
oh,
like,
and you're gonna know
like,
that this
you're
is the
gonna
one.
know.
This is where I'm just. It's
I
so cool.
want
we're
many
having,
of the ones though. I already had other.
I don't want other one.
I want another one, and I want
don't
another
necessarily
one.
need my next one to be this, doves being
Yeah.
released moment.
Because here's what's going on with you and me. We both have relationships from the past that were overwhelmingly lovey-dovey, like took over.
But it was my first love,
right? And so was mine.
Yeah,
mine was my
that
second,
doesn't
but it was the
happen
first
again.
real
But
one.
first real one, it was like
Yeah,
this
it
mutual
was
connection.
Just
I think
100% mine.
that
100% life.
happens one time. That way, in that way, where it's
In that way.
maniacal,
It's
it's druggy,
insane, it's drug.
chemical, it's your first jolt of real full-on love, gun, cannonballs,
Crazy.
huge, guerra, fucking
Yeah.
crazy love.
It
Jump
is
off
insane.
cliffy style.
It's stupid.
It's
Nothing makes sense.
stupid.
You listen to no one. There is no logic.
There's
In fact,
no
if there is
logic.
logic, you hate it.
Actually, not a lot of people get it. No one gets it. No one gets it.
People roll their eyes when they hear about it. They're like,
When you
"Oh,
make
this
your plans and say
person
your
again."
thing and da-da-da-da-da.
They're like, yeah, your friend's kind of like, oh,
It disgusts
really?
people around you. It's
It does.
disgusting.
It is disgusting. It's
People are grossed out by us. When you see it, you're like, ew.
Seeing you, you're like, on the couch like
and
this,
I'm like
and all he's
fighting.
doing
And
is
when
nothing,
you're
and
not
you're
even touching, and you're like, gross.
I did it too, dude.
I
And
saw it on the bus the other day. These two 22-year-olds. I was like, ugh.
It's repulsive.
That's repulsive. There's something different when you see a cool ass couple fucking hanging out, joking, laughing. That's just beautiful. I'm
know.
ready for that.
Me too.
It's less druggy. It's real smooth.
It's adult. It's grown up.
adult.
It's
It's grown up. It's
mature.
mature. And
We're
there's
not gonna have
communication.
the relationships we had in our 20s now.
We're not those
It's not gonna
women. We're not
happen.
crazy. Like, now it can be awesome. And I
I
don't
know.
need to fall in love with them on day one, dude. But I just want to meet a dude that I like being with a
Honestly,
lot.
as much as you.
At this point, I don't
Like,
even
that
know if
would
that's
be
going to happen. It's different. And I think
I
of my
know.
other friend, like, you know what I mean? But somebody that
Right.
blossoms into that, I don't even need it to be anything at all. It would just be nice to me to do that was fun to hang out with, that wanted to hang out with me,
Period.
period.
Right. Yeah.
That's all I'm looking for right now.
We don't have a lot of high standards. We don't.
Oh, I'm not asking for much.
Oh, come on. I mean, I like you.
Honestly,
you like
here's
me.
my
How
thing.
hard is that?
Nice and inspired.
Always.
Like, if I could
Yeah.
get those two
And
things.
nice, I would even refine that word because it's less
But, like, if I had to
nice,
be
it's
general,
more
good-hearted,
good-hearted,
compassionate,
compassionate,
like,
empathetic,
like, just
but
good
humorous
vibes.
and.
now we're like, but knows comedy, but doesn't comedy.
But if you're
But yes.
because if you're a bleeding heart, I will not like you for 1
No.
second. That's not
If you're
that's
a
out of a
dick,
different
I won't like
spirit, you know,
you,
like
yeah.
being nice and kind and don't touch this and you can't look at that person that way.
Lighthearted,
Ugh.
huge.
lightheartedly.
But I say nice, and you know, for me, it resonates in a
way.
way where I know what I mean when I say nice, and everyone has their definition of it.
Right? Yeah.
My definition of nice is that it's this whole rounded, good energy type of niceness.
I think what's important for me is that the number one thing I would say is that someone who takes, I hate the word spirituality, just myself, so that's just my own thing I have to deal with, but some sort of consciousness, awareness, awakening, humanity, you know, something like takes it as serious as I do, but also has a very lighthearted sense of humor toward life, where it's like we do, like
where we laugh
like
about
everything matters, but nothing matters,
right?
And that's
so they have to.
I want to say that to someone
LSD.
and they get it. Like it's so is important what he's doing in the world. Like I feel like this is important. And what we're doing in the retreats and like leading people, I feel like is incredibly important for humanity. But also like it's just your life and it doesn't really matter.
Right.
And
you're gonna die.
You get that, and and you're
you know what I mean,
come back
keep
and it's
going
infinity,
and doing
and Earth is gonna does it.
But that
again.
it's really important to
But to live a life of purpose and intent.
Right.
Are you living a life of purpose and intent?
Purpose and intent.
That is so important because I know a ton of people, I'm not going to say their names,
for the world.
that are just like floating, and
I
go to my job and then I don't know.
And, purpose and intent.
Purpose and intent.
Even if to be a great parent, I love my friends that like do it and do it well. I can listen to them all day. They're like passionate about certain things, you know? Well, not all day. Don't, friends that have a lot of kids and want to be heard about their kids all day, do not call me. That was my bad. But but yeah, somebody that's doing something, and I don't even mean like, oh, I hike every day, or I'm trying to like
nothing, not over the top,
climb the highest mountain, but love what you do. Tell me about your work in a way that I know that you.
And if you don't love your work and your work's just giving you money, then have a fucking hobby or
then
creative
let's talk
outlet
about
that
your
you love.
exit plans. Do you have anything dreamed up? Anything you're working
Do you
towards
have a
saving
side
money
hustle?
for?
Are your friends coming up with a business in a few years? You'll have the money, and
if you don't like your work, then what?
Then what? Then what?
If there's no then what, I don't like that. I'm a dreamer. I always have my then what.
No.
I always can
We
dream
don't hang out with
years
people
out.
whose story is, I hate my job, period. Can't do it. Can't do it. If you have, I hate my job, period, and all I'm going to do is complain about it, I've been there. I've been in your shoes.
Right.
We could do a session with you. We could do a ceremony and get to the root of that.
Right.
But I'm not being friends with someone who all they do in life is hate their job.
Absolutely.
Because I know who I was when I was that, and I thank you for even being around me during that time.
Right.
And it was hard for people because I was just a whiny, complaining, my job sucks person.
And it's just a cycle and a loop, and there's no new stories.
No,
there's no new stories.
The same.
Every day.
That's like reminds me of Chris Rock when he's like, when you've been with someone for so long and you're like, get a new story,
right.
Go out, get robbed, like maybe a crackhead takes your purse, like come up with something new than Jennifer in the office said this again.
And that's even after years of marriage. But when I went on a date twice even and heard the same, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, that's the most uninspiring, least attractive, not good for me or you to discuss, and boring and sad thing you could ever say across really great cocktails.
I'm busy. I'm just so busy.
Do you like it? No. Well, what do you want to do? I don't know. I'm doing this. I need to make money. Well, I need to make money. Really? 2 dates? Couldn't come up. No new story. Nothing. And then on and on and on, dude.
That's the truth. I mean, that's the truth of that person.
And, you know, this is the sad thing about dating is when you find someone that's even half awesome, because he was nice to hang out with in general. But then, even when he's lame, you cling to him like the last chopper out of Nam, and it's like, why am I hanging on so tight to you? That was like the other day, I'm like, to this guy?
Yeah.
Because we had fun 2 times. Well, yeah, that's where I'm at right now, and I want to lift out of that. Like, that doesn't need to be my baseline anymore. My baseline should be like how I am with my friends. I know that vibration. I know how that feels. I know how I feel when I'm around my friends. That's my status quo. Yeah. If it's not as fun as hanging out with my friends, I don't hang out with you.
Right.
It doesn't have to be right. And I know it's like meeting new people, but even people I've met lately,
not more than 2
just
dates.
interest me in a certain way. I'm like, that's how it should feel.
By 2 dates, you know, generally, like, maybe the first they're nervous and the second they've really warmed up and all of a sudden they open up, right? But by the end of a second date, if you have just said you're busy and you hate your job and I don't know what else to say to you, and you also, and a big part of like, I'm busy and I hate my job or anything on that level is like when I tell about my life, like I love my life and I do my dream job and I like work passionately toward it. What can they say to that? It probably just makes them mad.
And I feel bad.
Right.
That mine sounds so awesome. I feel like I'm bragging.
Yeah.
And then by the last time I talk to them, I rub it in. when I'm finally pissed and I'm gonna have no jokes, it's like, I love my life and I do my dream job. And I'm like saying it as this thing of like, get on the fucking train, dude. Take control of your life. You know, that's kind of what it'd be like. It doesn't have to be this way every day. And even if you just change the way you thought about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's the first step. It's not changing
like,
the
what
job.
are the cool things? Like, are there interesting people?
Refocus your mind.
Refocus your
on
mind.
something
Or
other than
focus your mind on the thing. What is going on around you? Do you like any of your coworkers? What are the perks? What would you like in an office?
What opportunities do you have? What resources?
Like,
people
in.
you know everybody around town. Okay, what are they doing? What are their projects?
Right.
What
are some positions in your company that you could go to? Is someone doing a cooler job than yours?
Yeah.
If you like it, or if you're there all damn day.
Are you learning?
Are you learning?
Stagnant? Have you not learned anything and you haven't done new skills? Where are you going to go after this?
When's the last new person you met?
You going to be at the same level?
Are you going to do this for 30 years? Okay. Then what else after this and when? These are questions that will make some people die. Do not use that as a suicide tactic. Do not ask yourself these questions. Still working on the hotline.
If you guys, we're about halfway through that hotline.
Still cranking numbers, trying to get that to you.
I know people like that, and I get it, and I've been there, and you bury it down. You bury it with busyness. You bury it with booze. You bury it with food. You bury it with Netflix. You bury it with getting drunk on the weekend. You bury it with everyone else around me is doing it, so this must be the way life really is, and everyone else in the downtown area is doing it. That's just how life is. So you just suck it up and you grind and you whatever. Sounds like?
Our parents, dude, that's their generation.
I know.
Work hard and then you die.
Yeah.
It's not that way. And where did it get our parents, dude? Bitter, uneducated, not learning anything new, uninspired.
Don't know
bored,
themselves.
Don't know themselves.
Don't know why. Don't know their
connect.
emotions. Don't know why they do the things they do.
Don't know who they are. Don't know what job they would. They never thought about it.
My dad even asked me all the time. He's like, "What are you doing besides your podcasts and your videos?" And I was like, "Oh, you mean all my dreams? You mean how I want to do retreats and podcasts and videos and help people? Oh, you mean like besides like helping other people as my dream job? What am I doing besides that?" Because he doesn't know what that is. He doesn't know what the dreams are. So he's like, "Yeah, what's your job? What is it? What's the money? What's the thing that you go to that you don't like?"
And this has happened to some people in my life and not others, and I'm working on it, but when you can find a way, a vibration to get woo-woo, to say that to them where they get it, is a beautiful moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's a beautiful
And that's actually
moment.
what I did say to him. I go, "What am I doing other than living my dream?"
And what did he say?
And he laughed. He's like, he's like,
right.
Well, yeah. He kind of like realized it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, right. When you say it that way.
Right.
Yeah, Dad.
Awesome.
I go, "Do you want me to just go get a restaurant job so I can tell you about that? Do you want me to go tell you about a restaurant?"
The way you talk to your dad is so sassy.
It is. I actually do. When he says
because
stuff like
he's sassy
that,
too.
He is sassy.
That is a vibration.
And I go,
to
do you want me to go
use?
get a restaurant job so I can call you about it? Like, what? Why? It's so boring. But here's the thing with my family at this point in juncture, as you know, they can't really hear about what I'm doing in detail because it scares them, and because they don't get it, and because it is woo-woo, and I'm doing these plant medicine retreats.
But the more you talk
like,
about it, and in their frame of the mind, like, I don't talk about the medicine as much as I talk about, I mean, honestly, I think they think I'm a yoga teacher. But I say meditation, if the only way they can hear about meditation is to think of yoga, cool. It helps people find, I don't need to break it down for you. All they care about, I'm happy. They're supportive.
That's good.
Good to go.
I know.
And when I try to explain it to them, maybe one day they'll be in the right vibration to get it.
Yeah.
I haven't, it's so funny. I haven't even visited since I've been this freaking conscious and woken up and mindful.
Yeah.
So.
And there's times when I remember not being able to hear what people were saying when I was in a low place of like hating my life, hating my job, no way out, couldn't see it. And I would hear people on like a video or a podcast or something talking about like living and entrepreneurship, and I would just be like, I just poo-pooed it. I was like, yeah, right, you're special. You've been given, it sounded braggy.
Yeah.
I was like, you must have $1 million and all the opportunities, and you're a trust fund kid, and you're sexy, and you're skinny, and you're this, and I would make up every excuse in the book to not be like, this person wanted it and worked for it and did the hard work.
Risks.
Huge risks.
They're the ones that go against everything we know. Yeah. I told my dad the other day, I know I didn't get married. I didn't buy a house. I'm not at a steady job that I'll have for a long time. And I didn't have kids. And that's everything my parents wanted for me. Yep. I didn't do one of them. I'm not going to do most of them. And, shit.
Yeah.
there you go. I get it.
Mhm.
And when I told him that, he's like, oh, well, okay. He's like, so you get it.
I agree.
I do. Absolutely. And I go,
I didn't
Dad,
check your boxes.
how badass are you that I didn't do any of those things and you still love me?
Yeah.
That's just cool. And I was
I
like,
know.
I get it. I appreciate that about you. And I know it's not easy. And I said,
I know.
there's things I know I don't like about you. He's like what?
Oh, like they don't know.
I'm like, well, don't. I was like, you watch the news too much. I gave him an easy one.
Right, yeah. Easy one.
That you are a consumeristic bitch. No, kidding. I could never rant. I could rant. But, yeah.
Yeah. We love our parents. They're just very different than us. And, I
But
mean,
they
isn't
love
that
us.
every generation?
Isn't that all of us?
Come on. It's every generation. We get it. And this is why there's so much backlash right now. It's like, these idiot millennials, and they're idiots, and they don't know how to do anything, and they're just living in vans and posting on Pinterest,
Living in
Instagram,
tiny spaces.
and living in these tiny stupid houses, and they're not committed, and they're not staying at the, it's like,
They're not
get
stable.
over it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because y'all didn't leave us a stable world,
No,
dumbasses.
you didn't.
I'm sorry, but whenever I tell my dad if he's going on about millennials or lazy or this or that, and I go, I'm gonna take a basket of about 20,000 facts that I could give to you right now, like a bullet gun, because I know them all. But I'm just gonna give you one. When you bought a house in 1970s, it was 1.5 to 2 times your yearly income. I go, if my yearly income's $40,000, tell me where to buy an $80,000 house, Dad. And he shuts up because you're like, we don't have.
By the numbers.
Go by the numbers, dude. College tuition, 1,000% increase. How much have wages gone up? 4%, 8.
But why is everything
1,000?
gone up? But not
1,000
except pay?
versus 8.
Groceries,
Groceries, huge,
schooling,
massive, hundreds of
daycare.
wages, 8%.
Where one parent could work and one could
But
stay
we're
at
supposed
home
to
now,
be.
So
So to them, working hard is like, you got a job.
you're supposed
right
to
out
be
of
hating.
college,
They're saying you're
you
supposed
paid
to be
your
hating your life
mortgage.
more.
Yeah,
That's what they said. You should be hating your life more.
it should be harder.
It should be harder.
Why?
It's too easy. That's what
It's
they hate.
too easy,
This is what my
and you're-
family hates. They
you're a
don't.
free
They don't
spirit.
want to like help because they think it should be hard.
I know.
And they're like, no, this is the easy way out.
You don't just get to do whatever you want. I fully believe that my parents think like you don't. Life isn't
That's
just
what my
something
dad-
where you get to do whatever you
Absolutely,
want.
I was raised that. I've heard that out
I
of my
know.
dad's mouth.
Yeah, my dad used to say that in the summer when I was in high school and I had
Life
nothing to do.
isn't easy.
Because life isn't just one big long Saturday, Amanda. And I was like, yes, it is. Bye.
Just turned into that. Literally haven't known
Yes,
what
it
day it
is.
is for months.
I know. I actually don't know what day it is right now. But again, it's one of those things like this is how you start to break down thought patterns, right? This is how you ask someone like, who taught you and do you believe, like,
Right.
first of all, who taught you and do you believe it, that life is supposed to be hard? Go.
Yeah.
Ask that. You guys can ask that to yourself. Like, do you think that life is hard? And if you do, that means that is a thought.
That is a thought.
It's not. There is absolutely no reality. Life is hard or easy. But if you think life in
Because
general,
there's arguments for both.
all over and everything in between.
In equal amounts.
So if you think that means that's a pattern that's been
Yeah.
going on, and finding the root of it and being like, oh, my parents said that a lot. My parents and you know what's funny? Life wasn't that hard for my parents.
No, it wasn't.
So it's like,
and is
what?
your life hard?
it?
Do you go to work every day? You can pay your
You eating?
rent. Do you have any friends? Do you have moments that you like? Some people might be saying no on all of those, and then your life sounds hard. Sucks. No.
But we can help you out.
But there's ways to think about, and then that's building gratitude, which is the basis of any. If you think that
anything.
life is hard, you want to know the quickest way out of it. Gratitude. Start looking around. Start tapping into
Every
awesome things.
day.
There
Every
you go.
day.
About yourself, about your life, about
because
your city.
fear and anger and lack cannot even exist when you're in gratitude. It can't. I've tried
No.
it. I've tried it.
It
tried
doesn't
it because I
exist.
heard it couldn't happen.
Yeah.
I was like, if you're looking around the room or in your house or wherever, and you're just having pure gratitude of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, like yesterday I did this. I was at Cafe Solstice and I was there and I'm like, I am in this beautiful cafe with by the way, side note.
It's great dudes
hot,
there.
sexy dudes.
Great music.
Cafe Solstice, Capitol
great
Hills.
service. Excellent people. Great food. Great
Awesome.
coffee.
Amazing happy hour.
It's
Everything's
happening
great.
always.
It's
always
happening. They
happening.
play Bowie and all this great music and the new
Oh,
Gorillaz
yeah,
album, and you're on your
yeah, it's
computer, you're
good
working.
music.
So I was like, had my computer and my notebooks and my $800 cell phone, and I was like working on my podcast on my computer and planning my video with all my video equipment later to do my course that I'm running myself with my best friend at a house that we have. It's not like a second house or a third house, a family house where we just have it to do these beautiful retreats. And I'm looking at these hot guys, and I'm just like, whoa, this is amazing. Now, could I easily have been like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know where my next paycheck is coming from. I don't have enough money. My computer, like, it's like getting a little bit old. I don't know if it's going to be able to hold all the podcasts. Like, what if we do too many and like then I have to get an external hard drive? Like, that's going to suck. Where the hell am I going to get that money from? I mean,
I want a boyfriend. I need money. I need new clothes. I can go down that road fast for myself. You know what I mean?
Those are two roads.
I could paint it.
And I was like, I chose the other one. It's pointless.
It's just easier if you have the choice. If you have the choice to think life is hard or it's easy and they're true in equal amounts, I want to. Yeah. Why the fuck not would you want to live in a beautiful, easy world?
Do? Facts. They go, this is the reality.
Because bad is facts.
No, it's not, dude.
And good is not. That's just how our world's set up right now.
That's how your brain works.
Not true. Yep.
90% of your thoughts are actually doubts. You have doubts constantly. It's constantly doubts. And so even when you start, this is a neuroscience thing. So your brain is constantly spinning with doubts. It's an ego protective way that even when you don't think it is, it's doubts to protect you. Like, is the store going to be open? I'm not sure. Like, is this like, do we have a key to get? So those are considered like doubts. Like, is this going to be okay? Is this going to be okay? Do I have my battery? Check, like whatever. Right. So when you start introducing positive thoughts into your brain, like just positivity, right? Like everything's going to work out. I'm totally like all that. And you have all these constant doubt spinning, your doubts just like pass them off and they're like, that's a lie, that's not going to come true. I do this all the time. No, but if I believe that and it doesn't come true, that's going to suck. All that. So what this guy was talking about, this neuroscientist, is he's saying the better way to do it, rather than introducing all these like maybe a little bit too big positivity that you can't quite get to yet, like the levels, is to start doubting your doubts. And he's like, this is where meditation comes in, and this is where you can have awareness. And so let's say you're like, I don't know if this is going to last that long, like my computer's getting a little bit old and I won't have the money for it, and you can go, I doubt that's true. I always am provided for. Yeah. I always have stuff when I need it.
That's the easier way to be like, you will have a computer forever.
Yeah, it's either like, I always get new computers right when I want them, and the universe provides.
If you don't believe that and you say that you think that, it forces it the other way.
It does. It makes it worse.
It weirder and it makes it worse.
You can't just do like affirmations that you don't believe. That don't resonate with you.
They don't resonate.
That's why you start small, and I'm like, things are pretty good. I have a
job.
Like,
do I need a new computer right now? That's something, it's so funny when you're like, I need money, I need to make more, I need to take this shift. It's like, what do you actually need money for? Is there an emergency situation?
It's crazy. Well, once again, like we always do on Semi-Woo, we've gone to a million different topics.
We were talking about dating.
But we did
and
you know,
the book
dating.
Is still open on that always.
We love.
Again, if you want to date us, chopandblend@gmail.com.
Right below the suicide hotline. We're about 75%
We're gonna get that too. Actually, send us an email if you need that. Maybe we'll just get to you directly.
Please don't contact the mess center. They are tired of getting calls for us. But we love you guys, and thank you for listening in. Thank you again, Cloud Studio.
Yes, Cloud Studios.
Amazing.